make a mod for your new Anycubic Kobra X that's really cool and stands out, check this out. I'm going to show you how to assemble it. First thing you'd want to do is remove the supports. Make sure that you use the 3MF print profile that's in the file provided by the designer. This is designed by my friend Darren at Darren 3D Prints, or D3P. Look at those overhangs, gorgeous. You'll need some tools like a good pair of snippers, a rubber mallet, maybe a torch if you have some stringing, pair of pliers. Don't use a big metal hammer. It's just too much. It's extra. It might crack your plastic. I like to label the prints as they come off the printer so that I can keep everything nice and organized when I'm going to go put it together. So you'll need to grab the rear pieces, right and left. This is the rear pieces, and line up the dovetails. They're not just in that center black area, but on the outside edges too. So just like I'm showing here, you have to raise one side all the way up to the other and then press them down. Super easy. Everything should be nice and flush. Just like that. Then you can move on to the front part. Again, there's a couple of dovetails. You just line them up, press it down, and it fits like a glove. Everything's nice and flush. Here you can see the dovetails on the bottom and the dovetails on the bottom of this piece. There's also dovetails all along the sides, so you're not just pressing the bottom parts in, but also the entire length of the sides of this base. So you can see right there, there's a little dovetail and it has to fit in. So make sure you're lifting it up high enough to get it into the groove. And then give it a press until everything is nice and smooth and flush. And run your finger along each spot and just make sure that everything feels nice and smooth. Then you can take a look at the front light bar and get that set up for later usage. It comes with a couple of pegs. They're like rectangular with little holes or loops in them. The top part is beveled. The bottom is flush. So make sure the flush end goes down and the beveled end goes up. And then you're going to take these little pegs and put them into the holes so that the loop side is up. Some of these pegs are beveled. Then they will match the curves of the rest of the base. So make sure you take a really good look at the pegs as you're placing them, and that goes for all the pieces. Now you'll need the light strip. Make sure you use the same size that Darren linked or posted, or just use the link in the post. We don't need that. And then this part, not too hard, but I was having a little issue because the light ribbon is kind of curly-cued. So when I went to go feed it in, it kept wanting to curl downward. But you are going to need this to go upward when it goes in. So make sure you shove it through and upward into the body of the base. Then once you get that all situated and behaving, you can just thread it through and get ready to do some more threading, because it's coming up. And keep pulling that all the way through. Even some of the cord should go up and into the cabinet. Just like that. Now what you'll want to do is taper the end so that it'll be easier for pushing and threading through the light bar area, which is basically just a negative space all the way around the top edge of this build. So as you push it through, you'll want it to behave. Light strip goes towards the outside of the cabinet, and the backing of the LED strip goes towards the inside of the cabinet, just like you see me doing here, and you just push. If you put it in and it's not going in very well, you might not have put it in correctly, might need to flip it over. It popped out the other side there, so I'm just going to pull it instead of pushing it because that is easier. So just give it a good old yank, and then you're going to do the same thing, keeping the LED light strip facing away from you and the backing facing toward you or toward the inside of the cabinet. And then you feed it through that little loopy area and pull it through. When it gets to a certain spot, you'll have to fix the loop so it goes through nice and neat. Try not to break your strip. And then do that again, making sure that the light part of the strip is facing away from the middle of the base, and that the backing is facing toward the center of the base. Feed it right through. Once it pops out, you can grab it and tug it through. Just going to keep repeating this process around the entire cabinet. When you get to the front here, this is where you need to grab your light bar that you prepped earlier, and you're going to feed it through one side and then out the other, making sure that that light strip faces the front or outward facing edge of the light bar. Once it pops through, you can go ahead and just tug it through. Don't worry if it's twisted, you can just turn the whole thing till it's nice and straight before you thread it through the next side. Then do the same thing. Light strip towards the outside and backing towards the inside. There's a little divot right here. This is where the power cable on the bottom of the Kobra X will be resting. And then you can pull it through so it's nice and tight. And now that it's nice and tight, you can go ahead and tighten down those little pegs that we prepped earlier to secure this and keep it snug in place. Once you press those down, just make sure that they're nice and flush. And then to finish up, we have to go loop this around the final loop. And then when you pull it through, make sure that it goes underneath the LED strip that is already there. That leads to the outside of the cabinet. This will help it stay nice and low so it doesn't interfere with the machine. Just like that. See, there's a little loop, and my strip, excess part of the strip went underneath it. Okay, now we're going to peel off the backing of the little tail end because we are going to use it. And then go ahead and press fit that and stick it to the inside of the base. There's a little ridge for guidance back here. You just stick it along the top part of that ridge. I have it plugged in and I'm going to test it just to make sure that it's still working after installation. Perfect. All right, this is a little cap that goes over that little gap that was in the top edge. This is for your power cord to rest in. Also gives a little protection to that LED strip. I am notoriously bad at putting magnets in the correct direction. Here doesn't matter. It's gonna magnetize to your build plate, so just press them in. They all press fit. You don't need any glue or anything like that. This is the back part of the build plate holder. One side is flush, the other side has more contour to it. The contour side goes up and the flush side faces down. Same thing with the side bars. There's a little lip on the top of it that faces up, and the back side is just flush that faces down. We don't need this front part just yet, but that little hole right there, it faces down towards the table. Now is the assembly. You just press it together and then feed through the magnet end into this little slot until it's all the way in, and then you can put on the front piece with that little tab sticking through. Again, you want to make sure that it's on the bottom, and then press the sides in. Then you can go ahead and slide this into your base. Don't pull too hard against that front light bar piece, because it is only being held in with those little clips. So if you need to push, take some leverage at the back and push like this. There, finally went in. Just muscle it in. And that's what it should look like. Now along the sides are little holes. If your holes did not line up in the center, like mine did not line up, they're just a little off, you can take the build plate holder back out and swap those two edge pieces, and then they should line up perfectly. So now I have little holes for my pegs that do line up now. Here's the pegs that print with this piece. There's a long part of the peg and a short side of the peg. The long part of the peg goes towards the outside of the cabinet, and the short side of the peg faces towards the middle. After you've put them all in there, they're nice and flush. You can go through and put your magnets in the holes. Make sure you keep track of which direction you're putting your magnets in. I'm just going to use a clamp to clamp the magnets flush because my fingertips just weren't strong enough. Then you're going to go around and put all the magnets into the holes on the drawers. Be careful of the polarity of the magnets. You want them to stick and not repel. So now I'm going to assemble this drawer. There's a little slot in there, and this little bracket looks like an E to me, so I call it the E bracket. Just slide the little E bracket in there. Both brackets are the same. Just slide one on each end, and then you can slide the front and the back parts of the drawer together. Then it comes with 4 little pegs. The pegs have an opening on one side. That part goes facing up. And you just drop it into these little slots to lock into the E brackets that are now inside of the walls of your drawer. And this is where I used my rubber mallet to get the little bracket pieces to flush. Then I'm going to do the top drawer. Sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. He's pretty wheezy. This drawer has a big side and a little side. So the E bracket is bigger on one side, and that goes in the bigger hole, and the little E bracket goes in the little hole. And then you can go ahead and slide your drawers together. And then place the little pegs in and tap them down nice and flush. Then, last but not least, is the poop catching drawer. This is the left side drawer. It's got also a large E-bracket and a large slot. This one for me was just a little tight. So through a little bit of intimidation, I went ahead and forced that in there. And then we have the little E-bracket for the short side. This side is shorter for the poop chute to drop the printer poops down into the drawer so they don't fly all over your desk. So there's the short slot or the smaller slot. And my E-bracket is placed inside, and now we can just press the drawer together. There is a little bevel on the top of the E-bracket, matches the bevel of the hole, so just make sure that you're keeping everything the same all the way around, and you won't have any problem pressing these pieces together. If you're having a problem getting pieces together, my suggestion is to just turn the part and see if it works better the other direction. These little tabs can be a pain sometimes. So there's two regular size tabs on this side of the drawer. I just hammer those down. And then there's two small tabs that go on the other side of the drawer that are just a little bit more difficult. It's got a little bevel on it or a sloped edge, and I'm just matching it up with the contour of the drawer to make sure that when it snaps in, that it will be nice and smooth. So again, through a little fear, intimidation, and force, I got it to go in. This last one goes into like a hidden slot on the side, right here. Look at that. And that's when I realized this was not going to be easy. I would say this is probably easily the most difficult part of this whole build. I'm using a pair of pliers here to gently press one side and the other side of the tab into that slot until it disappears. It did take a little bit of time and thought, but accomplished. And there you go. Tab has disappeared into that little slot. All right, moving on to the drawer pulls. These are also dovetail. You just line up the curvature and snap it together. The top is pretty flush. The important part is the back side. Make sure there is no gap on the bottom side of that drawer. If you have to use the hammer, use the hammer. Now we can just slide our drawers into place. There's the bottom right and the top right, and then the bottom left. My suggestion for the bottom left drawer, if you're going to print a lot of PLA, make the drawer out of PETG, because PLA and PETG don't stick together. Now we can put our baby on top of our base. Look at that. She looks so pretty. All right, time to put in the poop chute. It's got a couple of slots. You're going to just line it up and press it down. Just like that. I would also make that part out of Petchy. And then this part is a bracket that the poop deflector is going to bracket onto. You just slide it in right here, being careful of the little trigger that flings the poop. See, it's all the way on. And then if you look at this from this side, you can see that little trigger right there is unimpeded. That's what you want. Now let's put this part on. There's little grooves, they line up, and then you're just gonna press it on. This part was a little bit tricky as well. I just didn't have enough finger strength to press it on, and you can see my gantry there move down as I'm struggling. So please remember to re-level your machine after you're done doing this and before you print. It still won't go down, so I used a little fear and intimidation with my model. Oh, look, it's nice and flush. All right, look, we're done. There it is. I'm going to shut the lights off so we can take a look at what it looks like all lit up. Aww, so pretty. I'll post a link to this model in the description of the video. If you've already purchased it, congratulations, it's beautiful. I had only one snafu. My bottom right drawer would not close until I opened my top right drawer, and that was because the drawer pull on my top right drawer was not seated snug enough. It was the most minor little thing. This is where your build plates hang out. This is the poop drawer. If you like videos about how to get better quality from your prints and how to use the Anycubic Slicer next, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.